On your actual documentation site, you have a quote, "Islands in a sea of static, non-interactive HTML."
Yeah, very visual, right? Just a nice little island getaway in the middle of a ocean of HTML.
Just swimming in the sea of div tags, Where's my span, Like, where's my header? Where's my footer? I'm like getting a little uncomfortable here, Seriously, it's kind of hilarious, really. But I'm so excited to finally get to talk about this with you. I've been needing to pick your brain about this. Now I get to do this on air. Yay. So opt into complexity is a core kind of principle of Astro. So can you tell us a little bit about opt into complexity and islands and how those two relate, and what the hell are islands? Please educate us. I think we might have hinted at it a little bit already, but we haven't explicitly called it out.
Yeah, so credit where it's due. We did not come up with this term. I would just say we were kind of the first framework to make it this like core primitive. Like Astro is a framework for building island architecture, for building sites with this idea of thinking in islands. I believe it was originally coined by, I want to get her name right, Katie Saylor Miller, who is Etsy's front-end architect. But then Jason Miller, creator of Preact, he did a kind of blog post really outlining it. So this is going back to 2019 in terms of a concept, but now here in 2022, it was always this like really hard thing to do. So it never really was very popular. And then our claim to fame, if anything, was making this pattern really easy and kind of baked in by default. I think we're going to tie it all together here because this island architecture, it's really at the core of how we see ourselves as different from everyone else, which is the idea of thinking of your site as mainly static content with islands of interactivity. So, choose any kind of content site. It can be e-commerce, it can be a recipe blog, it can be, CNN.com. The main thing that they're trying to do is get a lot of content in front of you. There's an article you got to read. Maybe there's comments to interact with, but the majority of the focus is on this giving something to you to consume. That sounds like lame, but it's what a lot of the internet is based on. It's a major part of why we go online.
Yeah, it's food for your brain. Sometimes it's healthy food, sometimes it's not, right? Just like life. So, sometimes it's just fun, like cat content. Let's be real, like the internet was definitely invented just to show off cats, so
everything else is just
like, who cares really? It's just there to fill in the spaces.
So you've got your cat photo site built with Astro. The idea is that the majority of that is the cat photo. It's the comments, people being, wow, cute cat. That's all really, really lightweight for users' browsers to kind of consume. So the browser can show that really quickly. And on the flip side, then, everything that is kind of proven to be true about performance in that for content sites gets to play out for you basically for free. So it loads faster. It means less users kind of bounce off your site, especially in slower devices like mobile devices, slower networks, developing countries. We take for granted that, like, especially as web developers, we're working on like a MacBook Pro M2 chip on our wired Ethernet that I've got plugged in right now. Like, I load up any site on my computer, it's probably going to load pretty quickly. That's completely not realizing that, like, there's a mobile phone out there that is just chugging along on even the most simple site. And that can be a large percentage of the world, especially if you're building something globally or even for your own country. It's easy to forget that a lot of us do live in these bubbles of incredibly fast devices, incredibly fast internet. And that's what I think Google's done a really good job of pushing with the Web Vitals and Lighthouse scores, is really bringing people back down to earth. This giant JavaScript application that you're sending down to some lower powered devices, it's not going to cut it. You're going to lose users. That's a problem we're really existing to solve because it's so important for content sites.